Let's check on the Nigerian Stock Exchange to see how that is trading. Of course, it's really rallied this year, up over 16%. Let's cross to the Nigerian Stock Exchange to hear from Komi Oshobu, who is the Executive Director, Reddings Investment. Komi, I imagine that we are still extending this rally today, but I hear so much noise from the trading floor behind you. Give us a sense of what's going on today.
Sorry, could you come loud again? I can't get you.
All right, Komi. Hopefully you can hear me now. I want to get a sense from you about how the market is trading today. I can hear a lot of noise from the background.
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of people on the floor. You know, when market is moving, doing very well, you see a lot of brokers coming to the market, even so, because you want to stay close. But generally, I think the market is still on the upward side this morning. We have about the market is off for about 60 basis points at this time, and the volume is also tracking very well. Done over 1 billion naira in value, as of now. Generally, the banking stocks are driving the rally this morning.
All right, recently we've seen Transcorp move. Is it extending that move today as well?
Yes, Transcorp is bidded up at, it's limit up at 10%. I think the price now is 1.72 naira. You see that since the announcement of the agreement with GE in respect of power generation, Transcorp has been very hot in the market, and it continues today. Another rumor driving the price of Transcorp is the rumor that the company will pay a dividend for the first time to its shareholders this year, in respect of the 2012 financial year. So that is another thing driving the stock. It's been doing very great, and I think we are at about many years high now.
Okay, for Transcorp, I'm sure a few people are relieved, although I still remember that I think when it was listed, it was closer to 7 naira, so it still has some way to go. But you mentioned something about rumors.
It has a lot of way to go, but if you remember, it's been on 50 kobo for many years. So to see it at 1.75 naira, that's what I mean is many years high.
I couldn't agree with you more on that point. But you mentioned about rumors, and I think that to me begins to get one a little worried. Are we getting into a bubble market, if you like? We know the market has rallied, and maybe people will justify the rally because of the really distressed valuations we've seen for most of the last 2 or 3 years. So your thoughts on that point? Now we're hearing rumors that, okay, this company is about to pay a dividend, that's why people are buying. Are we in a classic bubble market right now, or do you think we're still far from that?
No, I would say no. I don't think we are in any bubble market. Like you said, the stock was listed at 7 naira. And likewise, many other stocks, the prices at which they are trading now is still far below their historical highs. Like if you look at the First Bank, the GTB, basically all the banks, they are way below the prices they traded in 2007, 2008. And if you look at the performance, the fundamentals, compare the fundamentals now with the fundamental we have in those periods, the profit earning per share for those banks are much better now than those years when they were trading at those crazy prices. So I don't see us being in any bubble market. What I would say is that, okay, because we are used to those low performance of the index since 2008, people are now getting worried when they see any upside movement. But I would say that we are still far below where we were in those periods. And also, the result for last year is about coming out. Some of them have been holding their board meetings, from where they will declare dividends. So people are expecting those things to come, to materialize, and people are expecting dividends. So people are generally positioning for this thing. But I would advise any new person coming in, if you have not in the market before, you should try and exercise caution so that you don't enter at the top when professionals will start selling. Okay. So that would be my advice to people who are just coming to the market.
Have you been following UAC Properties this morning? We know that they're holding a commission board meeting today to consider the 30 billion naira real estate investment trust they're about to. Can you hear me now?
Okay, come again.
All right, I was asking about UAC Properties. If you've been tracking that stock today, we know that they're about to. Yes, UAC Properties. They are issuing 30 billion naira real estate investment trust offer in the next few weeks. Hello, Komi.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Komi, Just give us an update on UAC Properties share price. How is that trading? Is that something you are following today?
Trading, okay, UAC Property is trading flat this morning. It's trading at 16 naira, where it closed yesterday. But if you look at the stock, it's run from like 11 naira at the beginning of this year to the current price. So it's done well. And also because it's also one of the stocks that has been consistent in dividend payments. Even throughout the crisis period on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, UAC Property has been paying dividends, and the property business has still, it's still, like you all know, we still have shortage of property in the country. So nothing is still a good stock to buy, but considering the fact that it has done almost 30% this year, people should exercise caution on. Generally not just on UAC Property, on all the stocks. People should just exercise, look for good entry points. There's still room for improvement on most of these stocks, but people should look for the good entry point and consider what are they in the market for, a short term or long term. That's what people should look at before entering the market.
All right, Komi, give us an update on the bond market. We know now, we'll begin to talk a bit more about that now that this NSE has restructured bond trading, and we're now beginning to see bonds traded on the NSE itself. It's no longer just the OTC market. But we know that, of course, it's still taking a while for investors to get used to it. So I hear that it's still relatively thin volumes at this stage.
Yes, we started trading bond I think on the 1st of February. What you see when a new product is introduced, generally you look at it that, number one, many people are not aware of it because it used to be on an OTC market before. But now it's trading on the bourse here. So until people get used to it, it won't really, the volume will remain thin. But one other thing I would like to point out is that when equity market is doing well, especially in this environment, everybody will rush into it. But when this rally cool down a bit, you see a lot of people looking for other avenue to put their money, and that is when you will see the advantage of trading this, product on the Nigerian Stock Exchange trading machine. By then, people will come into it. It's already seen as an alternative investment or alternative play in the market. So people will move money. There will be shift of money from equity to bond and vice versa as time goes on.